and how to deal with this and answer these questions about war to the understanding of our allies and our enemies on a global basis is very important. And you take a quick look. We've had a tour of the Arab Spring. We've had Professor Tanner say that the Mideast, the Near East is a boil. It is. And this big problem that we are concerned about with Iran is, will the Arab Spring become a nuclear winter because Iran gets the weapon? And that is something that Mr. Eisenstadt, I think, brilliantly stated for us. It is a huge concern. Now, going forth and taking a look briefly around some of the Arab countries, we look at Libya. Libya, to me, is a template for a day late and a dollar short. We are tiptoeing our way into Libya. We're trying to say, okay, we want a humanitarian relief. But, of course, we're also saying outside our mouth, what we really want is regime change, but we're not going to put ground troops in there because we don't want a war with Libya. We're not going to go that far. So we're trying to get it both ways. And probably what's going to happen in Libya is how much money is it going to take to buy off Gaddafi? That's really the bottom line, I think, before we get through. We go to areas like Yemen. Now, if Gaddafi is so bad, then what about the expression of people in Yemen today who don't like President Saleh either? What do we do about President Saleh, and what do we do about Yemen? I mean, we've got a lot of problems there in a sort of a critical place in terms of oil shipment and other things. We don't want another failed state which becomes a sanctuary for terrorists. It happens that Yemen is a place where they do some very serious terrorist training. You go on to President Mubarak. We've talked about the Egyptian situation, very beautifully presented. The question I'd ask you is, what comes after Mubarak, and is it better or worse? I don't know. None of us know the answer to that question yet. But shouldn't we know the answer to that question, and shouldn't we be ahead of that curve? I think the answer is yes. We talk about Syria. Obviously, Syria is a puppet for Iran in so much mischief. And we take a look at the brutality that's happening there. Having snipers taking innocent people out is insane. Basically, you've got a very weak guy in Assad who is surrounded by a bunch of bad actors who are pushing him around. Not a good formula for getting a positive result at all. So we've got some serious heavy lifting. But when it comes to Iran, which is the number one most serious problem, and here is why I would say that. First of all, our stated objectives in Iran are regime change. Everybody has said that since President Clinton and before, actually. Nuclear nonproliferation is a critical factor. How are we doing on that? Not so well. You read the papers. This is not an intelligence revelation. You read the papers, you've been discovering they're cheating. Oh, no. They're actually using all those techniques and mechanics, and they're actually building a weapon over there. And even though we're negotiating, every day we negotiate, they get more capability, and we make less progress. So we're not doing so well on the proliferation, the non-proliferation. And in the area of exporting mischief, does anybody seriously think that Iran is exporting less mischief today through Hezbollah or the relationships in Syria or any place else taking advantage of this Arab Spring that we've already heard about? So I would say that we are not doing as well as we should be doing at all in this sort of brief tour that I've given you. Now, And I